All right, so the first activities that we are going to do are the introduce it activities, which are the orange ones. So the first thing I'm going to do is click in the bottom right or left corner on my iPad, and I'm going to click the add slide button. So if I do that, I'm at the bottom here, I'm clicking that button, and I'm going to select all the different orange slides. So I have two, they're all called number 2, vocab bases. I'll add that one. And oh, I see it added right in the middle there, so I'm going to hold my finger down on it and then drag it to the bottom. Actually, I'm going to keep it at the top. And then I'm going to add my next slide. So after my 4 vocab bases, this one here, I'm going to click the tip chart. I'm going to go back and select, there should be 5 total, the word map. And then I'll select the definition map. And then I'll select the paved map. Now, before I do these orange activities with the different bases that I learned this week, I'm actually going to brainstorm some words. So I'm going to go back to my slides and I'll click on Base Word Brainstorm Bank. I'm going to move this up here. And I'm going to think of the bases that I learned about. So I learned about the first one of them was graph or gram. And I could think of, if I think about some words, I could have photograph, I could have telegram, photography. Okay, another base that I learned about was fawn. So I could do phonics. And if I get stuck, I could search. I could do phonology. I could do, getting a little stuck. So I could go and do some research on that one. And I could continue to go through this and brainstorm words. This is going to help me with the orange activities. So I'm going to show you some of the orange activities that are already done in an example. Your teacher has this in a presentation as well. So if I go into our lesson, I'm going to scroll all the way down to the orange slides. Okay, so the first thing that we want to do is we are going to brainstorm what some words could be with these. So that's what I just did. So here's some words that have the base fawn, photo, graph and gram, and auto, and this will help me with the next activities. So the definition map, this is, you're going to start with choosing one base word. So I chose phonology. I looked up what that word meant on dictionary.com. It's the study of sounds that make up language. I found out 3 different things that it is like, that word phonology, and I added some images showing sounds coming out of people's mouths. Of course, I had to find these images using pexels.com or the Creative Commons and the Google Images ahead of time. The pave map, you start with a target base and then you search for a sentence and add it in. You predict what the target, the word is. So autobiography, you'd make a prediction of what that is. And then you write a sentence with that word in there. And you look up the dictionary definition. And if you need to, you could revise and improve the sentence with the predicted meaning. And you add in a image. My 4 vocabulary bases, this is just a real quick activity for you to add the 4 different bases and then brainstorm where you've seen the bases before. Tip chart, you put your base word that you came up with using one of the bases. In this case, I used graph. And the base word I looked up was telegraph. Then I wrote the meaning and I added a picture. And then the last activity is just a word map where you put a base word. So in this case, I chose the base word graph, or the base graph, and I thought of graphic novel. I wrote a synonym, an antonym, so you can look up synonyms and antonyms on dictionary.com or thesaurus.com. And then I have an example of a graphic novel, a non-example as well. So this is just a quick review of how you will do the orange activities. Starting by brainstorming some words with the different bases, and then adding those slides in and experimenting.